Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku and his friends defeated the malicious Saiyans thanks to the power of the fusion between Goku and Yamcha. The Saiyans stood no chance. However, during the altercation between the Saiyans, both Chaozu and Tien perished. Having already been revived once, Chaozu must be revived with the Namekian Dragon Balls instead. Now the team heads to Namek inside of Kami's old ship. What perils await the team? The adventure continues now. Another world, another fusion! What if Goku learned fusion early? Part 2.
Piccolo touches the leg of the Namekian spaceship. It felt very familiar, and without even Popo telling him what to say, he simply spoke in Namekian, and the door opened. It was all instinctive. The plan was now for Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo, Yamcha, Goku, and Bulma to travel to planet Namek. The team was very cramped in the small ship, so Bulma's dad utilized it as a base and expanded upon it, making it a bigger version of itself, even including a gravity chamber, stereo, and muffins. Bulma also began to work on an armband, as Goku expressed just how powerful the technique of fusion was. She thought that it could be useful in the future. It was not quite done for the time they left for Namek. During the travels to planet Namek, Goku taught the team more and more about what he had learned. Not only about the Kaioken, but also fusion. Piccolo refused to dance with them, but secretly paid attention to everything, while Krillin and Gohan managed a perfect fusion after some tries. The team arrives on planet Namek around the same time in the original story, to which their spaceship is attacked by soldiers. Rather than defeating them right away, they make sure to destroy the scouters, Piccolo's idea. They then asked who they were working for and who they were. They clearly didn't look like Saiyans, but they were wearing their armor. They explained that they were Frieza soldiers looking for the Dragon Balls. Frieza. That name had been said by Vegeta before. He must be dangerous. They do feel an immense power level, even greater than anything they achieved while training together, but the smaller power levels could be easier handled. They decided to split up and leave Bulma with the hidden ship. While Yamcha and Piccolo headed over to the eastern village, where the larger power levels were, Goku, Krillin, and Gohan headed over to the east, using the Dragon Radar to find the Dragon Ball. While Goku's team found nothing but a village, the villagers approached them with anger. They had heard about a group of aliens looking for the Dragon Balls, but Goku assured them that they didn't know anything about it, that they were only here with a Namekian friend named Piccolo. The Namekians were confused. In the meantime, Yamcha and Piccolo found a larger power level. It was Frieza and his team attempting to get the Dragon Balls from the village. Frieza's power was obviously way too much. They couldn't just attack. But when Dodoria rushed in to attack Mori, Yamcha jumped in. Piccolo had no choice now. Dodoria was hit away and the villager was safe. Mori looked at Piccolo and said, "Nail?" Piccolo dismissed him and told Frieza and the others to leave. He laughed and told Dodoria and Zarbon to just take care of them while he took the Dragon Ball away. Yamcha and Piccolo's month of training was on full display here, as both of them burst into a small version of the Kaioken. Piccolo rushed into battle Zarbon, while Dodoria fought Yamcha. They were doing very well against them, though Zarbon's transformation proved to be an immense power. He even revealed that Frieza had a transformation of his own. While this went on, Goku was caught by surprise. Nappa and Vegeta arrived at the Namekian village. The Namekians assumed that they were friends, but this couldn't be further from the truth.
What are you doing here, Kakarot? Move out of the way. We're here for the Dragon Balls.
No way I'm letting the likes of you take them. Looks like our rematch is coming sooner than expected.
Fine, the Namekian's death is only delayed, and this time you don't have that Wolfman to help you.
But Goku felt Piccolo and Yamcha's keys spike up. They were using the Kaioken. He told Krillin and Gohan to go help, but Nappa wasn't going to let them escape. The Saiyans started to pursue them, but as soon as they approached the battle, Nappa noticed that Zarbon had transformed. He instantly turned around to run away. He wasn't about to face them. Gohan and Krillin land with grace, and Piccolo smiles. He takes a step back and tells Krillin and Gohan to fuse. He wants to show both of them the true power of Earth. Gohan and Krillin nodded, getting into position. Zarbon tried to attack mid-dance, but Piccolo defended the pair. A bright flash of light covered them, and it was the birth of another hero, Krillin, and he was ready to defeat the enemies. There's an actual fusion between Gohan and Krillin from Dragon Ball Fusions. I think it's called Gohan. Dumb name, dumb design, I'm not using it. So instead I'm using the Goku plus Krillin design from Dragon Ball Fusions. Krillin. A lot better. Mori watched in awe, recalling an old book full of legends that had a section about a dance to unite bodies. This must be it. The fight was ended when a set of Kienzas were hurled at Dodoria and Zarbon, which chased the villains, but rather than cutting through them, the discs began to blast waves of ki. Masenko Disc! The Namekians thanked them all. However, Murray asked Piccolo if he was Nail one more time. Piccolo asked who Nail was exactly, and Murray pointed towards the Grand Elder's place, their next destination. He told Dende to accompany them. Once there, Krillin and Yamcha got their potential unleashed. Piccolo and Nail met, and he recognized the resemblance. The battle between Vegeta and Goku was explosive. Thankfully, Murray had destroyed all the scouters that Frieza had, so it didn't attract attention, except for the fact that earthquakes were being felt across the world. Frieza was getting suspicious, and called the Ginyu Force right away. He needed those scouters. This rematch was just what Goku wanted, but Vegeta couldn't stand up against them. Vegeta felt defeated, questioning if Goku had achieved the legendary state of Super Saiyan. Their battle was interrupted by Nappa flying back, when he told Vegeta that Zarbon had transformed. Vegeta didn't care, but by concentrating a little, he realized that he couldn't feel Zarbon's ki anymore. Could he have been defeated?
Looks like Gohan and Krillin did it. Stand down, Vegeta. You haven't got a chance.
Kakarot, you idiot! I was trying to be inconspicuous about this, but if Frieza realizes both Dodoria and Zarbon are dead, we're in for a world of trouble.
This Frieza guy seems interesting, and I want to fight him.
You wouldn't stand a chance! Give me the Dragon Ball, let me wish for immortality, and he could be defeated!
Goku clicked on the Dragon radar and realized that every other Dragon Ball except for 2 had been moved. This was worrisome. Hopefully Piccolo and the others were with the last one. After all, the village Goku was at had the other one.
I'm not giving you the Dragon Ball, but we should at least stop whatever wish that guy's trying to make. He already has 5 of the Dragon Balls.
What? Fine. But after this, I'm coming back. Let's go, Nappa!
Goku, Vegeta, and Nappa all headed towards Frieza's ship. Nappa would create a distraction while Goku and Vegeta snuck through. This was because they could hide their ki. While Nappa hadn't mastered that just yet, it wouldn't have mattered anyways. Frieza had no scouters, but they didn't know that. Nappa created an explosion close to the ship that made Frieza and a few soldiers go check outside. Meanwhile, Vegeta and Goku got 2 Dragon Balls each, with the last one being kicked over to Nappa, who had returned to the ship after the explosion. They all blasted out, but Frieza noticed them, firing a death beam. Goku saves Vegeta from it by ramming into him. Frieza was angry, angrier than he'd ever been. The Ginyu Force would be here soon, and they would take care of this. And sure enough, not long after the Dragon Balls were stolen, the Ginyu Force arrived with new scouters and ready for battle. The fusion between Krillin and Gohan ran out, and they felt both of their individual powers increased, thanks to the Grand Elder. Dende also got his power unlocked as well, while Nail and Piccolo meditated next to each other. But there was a great disturbance as the Ginyu Force arrived. They took the Dragon Ball and headed to try and find Goku. They watched as he was being pursued by Nappa and Vegeta. Piccolo blasted at Nappa, who angrily turned around. Goku made everyone settle down and told them everything. None of them wanted anything to do with the Saiyans, but they didn't have a choice, as a blue flash of light ran past them and got all the Dragon Balls. It was Burger, and the rest of the Ginyu Force followed soon after. Ginyu was about to take the Dragon Balls away, but Goku wasn't going to let this happen. To Burger's surprise, Goku was fast enough to get Ginyu in the back. How was this possible? He was the fastest one in the universe. Even Vegeta's eyes widened. He didn't see this kind of speed during their battle. Was Goku hiding his power?
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back.
I hope you guys are enjoying the video, and if you like the stuff I do, there's a way you can support the channel. By clicking the membership button, you will be able to see various tiers. Each one of them has some rewards. My personal favorite ones are the Super Saiyan hair badges that adorn your name in comments and live streams on my channel. The longer you stay a member, the larger the power up. So if you like the stuff I do and feel like supporting me in some way, be sure to check out the membership. Anyways, back to the show.
Back to our show.
The fight started with Ginyu not being able to escape, and the Dragon Balls being constantly shuffled around the teams. Piccolo and Yamcha took on Recoome, Goku took on Ginyu, Nappa and Vegeta fought Jaice and Burger, and Gohan fought Goldo alongside Krillin. Nail watched them from not too far away. He needed to protect the Grand Elder after all. While Yamcha and Piccolo's power was enough to match Recoome, and even beat him, Vegeta and Nappa were having a harder time against Jaice and Burger. If only they had learned something like the Kaioken, Nappa thought to himself. Thankfully, Krillin and Gohan made quick work of Goldo, who stood no chance against Krillin using the Kaioken in order to save Gohan from Goldo's time-stop clutches. With Nappa on the ropes, the two rushed in to help Vegeta. He watched in awe as the two fused into one. Krillin was born one more time.
That technique, the same one Kakarot used on Earth.
Jais and Berter laughed, and though they couldn't combine their bodies, they did have some sort of fusion. As they began to spin against each other, a giant galaxy-shaped energy began to splash out towards them. This was very dangerous, but Krillin wasn't going to be stopped that easily. Vegeta clenched his fist one more time. He couldn't believe that someone other than himself could have this much power, especially a combination between Gohan and Krillin, a Saiyan and a human. Jais and Berter were done for, but Ginyu was very impressed by Krillin's power. In fact, so much so that he punched himself in the chest and tried to body change with him in the middle of the fight against Goku. Since none of them knew what he was doing, it worked. He switched bodies with a fusion. The fusion only had a few minutes left. How would this work? Goku punched Ginyu's bodies in the face, but it was Krillin who reacted from inside. He was confused. He didn't know what happened, but he tried to explain things to Goku. Goku could feel a hint of his friend's power in there. He stopped himself. He didn't know what to do, but then he realized all he had to do is wait for the fusion to be undone. But would that work? What would happen to the consciousness inside of the body? All he could do for now is dodge and block all the attacks coming his way. The 30 minutes were about to expire. The consciousness inside of Ginyu, Krillin's consciousness, unfused itself, and the Ginyu body flopped to the ground, seemingly dead. Meanwhile, the consciousness inside of Krillin, once it diffused, was ripped apart. Ginyu was no more. Gohan's and Krillin's bodies remained unconscious on the ground. They didn't move. Goku could, however, feel their ki out there somewhere. It seemed like they were inside of Ginyu, but without either of them controlling the body, they were just stuck in there. Now he needed to use the Dragon Balls for a different purpose. The Grand Elder did explain they had 3 wishes, so the last wish will have to be to return their consciousness to their original body. For now though, Yamcha and Piccolo would have to take care of their bodies. Nappa and Vegeta weren't impressed. What they needed to do now was to gather the Dragon Balls and make their wish for immortality. Vegeta and Nappa rushed 2 different ways. Vegeta towards the Grand Elder's place, and Nappa towards the smaller Namekian village. They were going to get the last 2 Dragon Balls. But what they didn't expect was to find Frieza there too. He was confronting Nail, who was severely hurt. Frieza couldn't believe the fact that they had defeated the Ginyu Force. No way these Saiyans were that powerful. Goku told Nail to stand behind him. He took a senzu bean and gave it to Nail. Goku was also severely hurt after the many battles, so he took one for himself. This gave him some boost of power, and then handed the other one to Vegeta. He only had one more senzu bean left. He probably would have to divide it in half for Krillin and Gohan. Piccolo arrived and stood tall next to Nail. Yamcha had taken the bodies over to Bulma, and then headed towards Nappa. He needed to stop him. Vegeta wasn't about to let Goku get all the glory, and he began to fight Frieza first. Though Vegeta was incredibly powerful, even pushing Frieza to consider transforming into his second form, he was definitely not winning. Only to mock him that Frieza transformed. After the transformation, he revealed that he had been the one to destroy Planet Vegeta. This only gave Vegeta more of a reason to want to defeat Frieza, but Goku joined in this time. With their powers combined, Frieza was pushed to his 3rd form. This is when things started to get difficult. Vegeta was caught in a volley of death beams. He was left on the ground, paralyzed. But when Frieza wasn't aware, Dende healed him. After all, in this timeline, Vegeta didn't actually kill any Namekians, so Dende doesn't feel remorse when he heals Vegeta. This gives him a power-up, and he joins in the fight once more. When Frieza becomes aware of Dende, both Nail and Piccolo protect him. This is when Frieza instead focuses his power on the 2 Namekians, but neither of them stood a chance. At this point, all of the fighters that were facing Frieza were extremely hurt, except for Vegeta, who had just been healed. In one last attempt to show them true fear, Frieza transformed into his final form. He then turned to Dende, pointed his finger at him, and fired a death beam. But to everyone's surprise, Vegeta jumped in the way. The death beam grazed his arm, but he was able to deflect it. Goku smiled at Vegeta. Then he thought of something. This might be risky, very risky, but he told Vegeta that maybe the fusion dance between the 2 would be the key of winning. Vegeta refused, and the battle just continued this way, with them getting pummeled. Piccolo needed to do something about this. That's when he thought maybe he could use the fusion dance too. He told Nail about it, and though Nail thought that it could have been easier to use their forbidden technique of fusion, he admitted that he preferred to remain in his own body eventually. So he agreed to do the fusion dance. Nail is very similar to Piccolo, so he learns very quickly, and while Goku and Vegeta keep Frieza busy, another fusion is born. The fusion between Nail and Piccolo. He calls himself a Super Namekian, but this fusion is still not enough. It's just enough to try and nearly match Final Form Frieza. But while he fights, he tells Vegeta and Goku to fuse. There's no time to lose. Vegeta was reluctant, but he agreed that there was no other way at this point. Just how he had learned to read ki, he also paid attention to the fusion dance. But the first time, it failed. 30 more minutes needed to pass for them to try again. The fusion between Nail and Piccolo used a combination of the nail gun and the special beam cannon to slow down Frieza. But that was the last thing they did, as they defused. The pride of the Namekians had done what they could best. But maybe it was up to the Saiyans to defend Namek. The failed fusion ended, and just as Nail was being punched into the ground, Goku and Vegeta tried one more time. Nail's eyes blanked out, and the last thing he saw was a bright light. Hope, Gogeta, was born.
This is the fusion of two of the last Saiyans. The vengeance of the Saiyan race. The Super Saiyan, Gogeta.
Meanwhile, the battle between Yamcha and Nappa took place. Surprising both of them, Yamcha was the stronger one of the two, and the Kamehameha knocked down Nappa. Yamcha got the Dragon Ball from the village, and then ran over to the Grand Elder to get the other Dragon Ball. Finally, he returned to Bulma with all the Dragon Balls. They needed to make the wish. The skies darkened, and Purunga came out from the Dragon Balls. Nail saw that Purunga was there. He told Dende to stay there, as he might be needed for healing. Frieza watched Nail rush over to Purunga and went after him. However, Gogeta caught onto his arm and threw him back down. Frieza just couldn't escape. Nail helped them make the wish. First, it was to return the consciousness of Gohan and Krillin to their normal bodies. The pair woke up, exhausted, but happy to be back to normal. They joined the rest with Purunga. The second wish was to return Chaozu to life, and the third wish to return Tien. From Otherworld, they happily cheered. Purunga disappeared, and the Grand Elder passed away. Nail felt it in his heart, and he looked down, sad. The battle between Gogeta and Frieza continued, but Frieza stood no chance, even when Gogeta allowed him to reach 100% power. But Frieza began to mock the Saiyan. He talked about watching their parents die, about the Scouter counting down as the lives of the Saiyans were lost. Gogeta clenched his fist. Frieza began to create a giant death ball above his head. He was going to destroy the entire world, but Gogeta smirked. Not only was he filled with emotions about the Saiyans, but also filled with emotions about how exciting this fight was being, and the combination of the two rivals creating an incredible fusion. A sparkle shone in his eyes, and as a wave splashed over him, his hair turned golden, and his eyes a greenish blue. His aura erupted, and all the water around him swirled, creating something that almost looked like a shield around him. Frieza couldn't believe it, but he knew it. He knew this could be the Super Saiyan legend, and Gogeta declared himself so. Without any more talk, Frieza launched the Death Ball, but without much trouble, Gogeta flipped, smashing his leg against the Death Ball. There was a huge amount of friction, and it launched it backwards, directly towards Frieza. The Death Ball didn't stop, it just kept going and going and going. It reached a star not too far away, and exploded. The clouds in the sky dissipated as Gogeta's aura penetrated the sky. It was over. Planet Namek was saved, and the Saiyans avenged. Gogeta looked at himself in the water and smiled. Not long after, the fusion diffused, and the team was all ready to return to planet Earth. Vegeta recollected Nappa and scolded him for not being able to get the Dragon Balls. But for some reason, Vegeta didn't seem all that truly upset. Even Nappa noticed it. In fact, he couldn't help but smirk. That battle was incredible. Bulma was all over Yamcha. She was very proud of him having defeated Nappa. The Namekians thanked them all, and Murray, the new Guardian, even asked Piccolo if he wanted to stay. However, his home was on Earth. Nail and him shook hands, and he said that he was welcomed anytime, and if they ever needed help, to just tell them. The Z-Fighters boarded the ship and blasted off to Earth. Nail turned to the Saiyans and told them to leave. Vegeta simply chuckled. He didn't want to stay in that place anyways, especially if they didn't have Dragon Balls. Nappa and Vegeta got on the Ginyu Force space bots, and when Nappa asked where to, Vegeta replied by saying, "You know what place does have Dragon Balls, Nappa?" Nappa laughed loudly and blasted off behind the Dragon Team's ship. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you want a part 3, be sure to share the video with your friends. If you didn't check out the last video, it was part 4 of What If Goku and Vegeta Went Back in Time, an awesome series where Trunks takes Goku and Vegeta into their childhoods. It's my favorite one and it's almost done, so I would really appreciate it if you guys would check those out. Like always, you can follow me on Twitter at ShareYourEnergy, share memes with me, give me suggestions, or just talk with me. My DMs and mentions are always opened. I also gotta give a shout out to the Super Saiyan Legend members of the channel. This is the second tier on the channel, and they get a shout out on the video. So shout out to Ragov, Pro Gamer, Erica Brown, and Mech. Thank you for your support, guys. There's also some other members in lower tiers. Shout out to you guys too, I really appreciate it. As always, you can support the channel by becoming a member by clicking the join button right under the video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, especially share if you want to watch the next part. Shout out to these guys who answered the Dragon Ball question of the week last week. The Dragon Ball question of the week this week is, if you could reunite any two Dragon Ball characters, who would they be? For example, Gohan and Future Trunks, or Bardock and Goku. Let your imagination go wild. Anyways, guys, until we meet again, see ya.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Smugstick, unless you want to be destroyed.
Lord Beerus, that's hardly fair. But also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when he uploads new videos.